Welcome back to Wave of Docker. This is episode 2 of Letterboxd Lowdown, the series where I go through the movies I listened to or movies I watched in the last month. I'm mixing up this intro with week in music. Watched movies past month. I did this for February. I'm doing it for March now. It's April 2nd, so I'm going to go through the movies I watched in the past month. I keep mixing that up with week in music. I'm talking all over myself right now. It's not a good look for me. So just go into the stupid thing I have to do. Let's go into these freaking movies. Gah. Gah. First movie of the month. Actually, yeah, we're just gonna go in order. Like this says right here. Wait, is my camera in the right spot? I'm gonna put you down here. I'm all over the place right now. Like this review says, goddamn dude, damn. Had my hand on my face, pondering the screen like I was a general leading his army into the war. This movie is fucking perfect. I couldn't believe how good this movie is. Like I said, I watched the first Villeneuve Dune a few weeks ago, and I watched David Lynch's Dune as well. And this movie was really the nail in the coffin for what made me want to read the books. Like, I just couldn't. This movie was so good, dude. It's just. It's shot beautifully. The cinematography is ridiculous. That opening scene with the Harkonnens searching for the Fremen in the Arrakis desert, and the orange lighting is all over the place. Austin Butler's Feyd-Rautha is fucking fantastic. It's just, I mean, Javier Bardem is still fantastic. Rebecca Ferguson as Lady Jessica. Like, it's just everybody on screen is just doing their shit every time. Florence Pugh as Princess Irulan was amazing. Like, it's just, I'm almost done. I started reading the book. I'm gonna finish the book. I'm almost done this. Look at this. This book, I'm just in love with Dune right now. And it's all because of, I mean, David Lynch's Dune was fantastic, but Villeneuve's adaptation just made me fall in love with this series. I'm all in. All my car. I'm all about it. This movie's fantastic. If you haven't, go to theaters, go watch it in IMAX. I don't even know if it's even available in IMAX anymore. I saw it in IMAX, and it was one of the best theater experiences of my entire life. This movie, I think this and the Batman 2022 are the two most significant movies that I've seen over the past like 5 to 10 years. Like, these movies changed the way I looked at film. Like, this movie, I can't wait for Villeneuve's Messiah if he ever does it. But yeah, Dune Part 2, 5 gajillion. Probably the best movie I've watched. Like, that and The Batman are probably the best movies I've watched in the past 5 years. It's ridiculous. Next. This is just a documentary I watched in my photography class about American photographer Sally Mann. It was really interesting. It was cool seeing her process and how she goes about photography. She uses glass panels, which is crazy. Like, and her final or the exhibition that she did at the end of the video was about human decay and how humans and their bodies go back to Earth after they die and stuff like that. It was really interesting. She's a very peculiar person. I feel like you kind of have to be a good photographer. It was just really interesting to see her process and kind of how she interacts with the world, and her photography process was really interesting. But yeah, that was just like an hour and a half documentary I watched. Next up, Heat. Organized crime and trouble with women breed the strongest relationships. That's very true. This movie was awesome. It's almost like 3 hours long. It doesn't really feel like three. It kept me hooked the entire time. That final chase scene was fantastic. I mean, Pacino and De Niro are incredible. Val Kilmer was also fantastic as this as well. It was just a really good cast. I think one of my favorite scenes is before that final bank heist. It shows shots of Vincent Hanna and what's the other guy's name? Ed or something. Whatever the hell De Niro's character is. It shows like their spouses and their partners just going about their like, kind of like regular lives, and also it shows Kilmer's wife and their kid just going about their normal lives, and just kind of it's a very calming shot, and then it cuts to them going into the bank. The whole shootout sequence after the bank heist was fantastic. Also the scene when Kilmer and De Niro were like infiltrating that one like vault, and Pacino is out in like the truck or in like the storage container outside, and it cuts back and forth between like De Niro and Pacino like looking at each other, or like looking at each other kind of like not eye to eye, but like that scene was really intense. I like that a lot. Like, that editing was cool. The cafe scene was also great. This movie is just awesome. Like, I can see why it gets as much love as it does. Like, it's just exciting. It's pouring. fantastic performances, and it's just a really fun watch. Next up, The Revenant. Leo is that guy. Yeah, this movie was really cool. It was shot really interesting. It was shot almost as if it was first person, which I found that really, really. I don't know if I want to say like ideal, but it was just a cool way of shooting this movie. Like it made it that much more intense. Tom Hardy's character was great. Obviously, DiCaprio was fantastic. That whole bear fight scene was crazy. And I just like late 19th, early 20th century stuff. Like I just love westerns and stuff like that. And this movie was just really cool. And it's just fun. Next movie. Poor Things. This movie was really interesting. Mark Ruffalo had a really dumb accent. He did have a really dumb accent, but it was funny. His character was very funny. And this movie, while albeit very bizarre and peculiar, all the performances were incredible. Rami Youssef was great. Willem Dafoe was great. Obviously, Emma Stone, one of the best actresses. I thought she was fantastic. I don't know why people think that this is some sort of kiddie porn peddling thing. Like, I really don't think. Like, the whole point was that the people doing that to her were wrong. Like, that's literally the whole point of the movie. Like, Ruffalo's character doesn't get any satisfaction. She has, like, the whole, like, whorehouse thing, but that's, like, kind of important for her character development, and it kind of shows, it allows her to experience these different, like, see these different things, and, like, the whole point is that it's this developmental story as this person kind of allows the world to form her into Bella Baxter, like, form her into she becomes at the end of the movie. That's the whole point of the movie. And it's not like Defoe and Yusuf were being weird to her. Like, as soon as Ruffalo shows up, like, I don't know. I don't really get why people kind of have that kind of take about this movie. But it was really fun, and I liked it. And it was really colorful and bright and vibrant. I kind of wish, like, there's like a little nitpick, like the scene when they're on the ferry. There's some, like, cuts too, just showing like an exterior shot of the ferry on the water. I wish that they did miniatures, 'cause I think that I just love miniatures in film. That's just like kind of my personal bias when it comes to practical effects. Like, that's why I love. That's one of the reasons why I love Star Wars and Tales from Outer Space Odyssey so much. At least the original trilogy. It's just seeing those cool miniatures. It just would have been cool. Like, I feel like it would have fit the vibe of this movie to have a little miniature, like a little miniature ferry and like little miniature stuff as opposed to CGI. But that's just a nitpick. And I'm excited for Lanthimos' next film. Has like a really intense cast. Next movie, The Tragedy of Macbeth. This is directed by Joel Coen, one of the Coen brothers, and Denzel Washington's in there. And also Joel Coen's wife, whatever her name is, I forget her name. I can easily check it, but I'm not going to. This movie was really cool. I read Macbeth in high school. It's been a while, and I haven't really, kept my brain trained with Shakespeare very much, so a lot of this was a bit of a slog, just hearing, Shakespeare's, kind of way of writing and just obviously old English being used. But besides that, black and white, really, really, like I said, like such gorgeous, I really love the set design. I love the lighting, and overall, like, this is just like a very beautiful and very appealing film to watch. And it's the story of Macbeth. It's like one of the most iconic stories of all time. But yeah, I mean, overall, this movie was really cool. It's just neat. Like, it has the feel of a play, and obviously it's written as a play. But the way that Coen kind of shot this, and the way that he lit it, the way the set design worked, the way the actors were positioned on screen and on set and everything just worked really well for this. And this movie was just I don't know, it's eye candy for me. I love black and white film. I shoot black and white film on my camera. Like, I really like the look of the monotone and kind of reducing anything else that the viewer can interpret. Like, you just see black and white. You just see these characters and where they are and how they're acting and how they're lit. Like, that's the main indicator of what the emotion is of the film. I just really enjoy that, and I thought this movie was really cool. Next up, The King. Pattinson's death is like the guy in Spy Kids 3. Yeah, whatever. This movie was really, I don't know, I heard a lot of people saying a lot of high praise for it. I thought it was just okay. I thought the story was a little weak. I thought the strongest part about this movie was Chalamet's performance, which was fantastic. I thought he was incredible in this. His performance was great, but I felt his character wasn't written very well. Like, he's kind of just like the boring, like, oh, I want to do things the right way, but no, now I've turned, and the French have made me mad, so now I want to kill them. Like, it's just kind of like yeah. Like the story of this is kind of, I think it's like a retelling of a Shakespeare story, but I'm just kind of just like, eh. Like the story didn't really grab me. There were some really neat visuals. Like the trebuchet sequence was my favorite part of that. Like that siege where you never see what's going on in the castle. You just see like this really articulate setting up of a trebuchet and then launching it into the castle. Like, I thought that was really really fantastic. Pattinson's character in this was hilarious. Just a really pitiful French accent and a big wig. Like he just looks very silly. But yeah, I mean, Chalamet's performance was great. The end sequence was really well choreographed. I thought that was really fun. Just like a muddy slum fight for like hours. I thought that was really neat. But besides that, I mean, like, I feel like it could have ended after that fight. Like, we didn't really need the reveal that the whole French assassination attempt was fake. Like, I feel like that kind of weakened the whole thing for me. But that's just my personal nitpick. But I mean, overall, it was enjoyable. I just kind of felt the story was a little weak. Next up, The King of Comedy. I just said Sandra Bernard was fantastic. She's one of the actresses in this. This movie was really, really good. I give it 5 stars. But I mean, De Niro plays this loser, and then it's what's this guy's name? Jerry Lewis. Jerry Lewis. Yeah, this movie was incredible. It was so good. I could see how this inspired the Joker with Joaquin Phoenix. Just this pitiful comedian trying to make a name for himself. I'm willing to do whatever it takes. My favorite part about this, I think my favorite sequence was when he was standing in front of that wall of audience members, and it had like that like really shrill like laughter, and he was just talking, and it just kept getting louder and louder and louder. And also when he was having the conversation with the Jerry Lewis character, and it was him, it was them in the restaurant, and then it cut back to him in his house like miming the whole thing in his head. Like I thought that was just genius. I feel like a lot of how Scorsese went about the filming this was that you don't really know what is reality and what is just within Pumpkin's head. This movie was just fun, and it was very, very funny. I thought it was very casually funny. Like the little snippy bits between De Niro and Sandra Bernard's character when they kidnapped him, I thought that was just really fun. Just a fun watch. I think you should check it out if you haven't. Next up, Ex Machina. Watch this on vacation. Oscar Isaac is mega pathetic in this one, 5 stars. Yes, that's very true. This movie was trippy. It was kind of freaky, just seeing, Ava, and just like that first, as soon as she shows up, just seeing like that vaguely humanoid figure enter the frame. It's just so eerie. And the score in this was really fantastic. It really did build that tension. And the ending was, I don't want to spoil it, but the ending, I mean, it's been out for 9 years, but the end really undercut your expectations. And it's just like a really interesting commentary on how humans interact with artificial intelligence, and how, it's kind of just like a look in the mirror of what could possibly become, our reality in a few years with the way AI is going. That sounds like a really nerdy bro answer, but I'm just like, I don't know. It's just like a really interesting way of looking at artificial intelligence. And it's just, I don't know, it's very good. I was enthralled the entire time. I was very curious to see how this was going to pan out. But and it's also interesting because at the end you're kind of just like, oh, was Oscar Isaac's character, was he good or bad? And then was General Hux, whatever that actor's name is, what's his name? Donald Gleason, this guy, like, is he in the right, or is she? Who knows? I just like that kind of balance towards the end, because like once the ending hits, you're just kind of like, oh damn, okay. And finally, I watched this March 31st, and I finished it April 1st, but I'm counting it as March. But this is the last one. But Interstellar, first time watching this, I was blown away. Such a visual spectacle. I would love to see this in IMAX, but upon reflecting, it is fantastic. But I just feel like the story is a little just. I mean, obviously, like, and I feel like it's just, I don't know. There's a lot of things that were said in the movie that weren't really ever. Like, I don't know. It just kind of feels like apparently, it's in 2067, and then there's. Like, I mean, I don't know. There's some points of it where it's just kind of just like, okay, really, Nolan, like that's really what's going on here. But besides that, this movie is ridiculously visually stunning. I could not believe what I was watching on screen. Like I said, how is this movie real? Like this is film like it looked like it actually happened. Like I couldn't believe how good this movie looked. Like there weren't ever really any holes. Like I couldn't really tell that it was CGI in a lot of these shots. Like it was just like they actually went to these planets. Like it was fucking insane. Ending was incredible though. McConaughey was fantastic. It was also great. Tars and Case were definitely my favorite characters. I thought they were hilarious, and it's just like a funny thing to exist in this movie, just like a walking. When I first saw it, I was like, "What the hell is with this Muppet ass robot?" Like they're just very funny, physically looking. I just really enjoyed that. But I mean, this movie, I gave it 5 stars. It's fantastic. But I mean, no, my only gripe is just like I don't know some of the story bits, like my kind of being like, "It's love. Love is how this is gonna work out. It's love, love." But I mean, I don't know. A lot of emotional sequences. I liked it. I liked it. That's all the movies I saw. Ooh, that's all the movies I saw in March. Why the hell is this so greasy? Whatever. Those are the movies I watched in March. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys in my next video.